About music, if you don't read the happenings, we have an open invitation for anyone that wants to come join the choir. Wednesdays at 7, you can join just for the holiday season or just for one song, but we hope some people consider coming. And anyone that's interested in being up here today or any day, you always have an open invitation. So if you would like to perform even just one piece, you should email musicdirector@vuu.org. And finally, we have a cabaret that's special to this congregation, and we have it scheduled for February 13th, which gives you lots of times to practice. And if you're interested in being on the planning committee for that, we hope you'll also contact musicdirector@vuu.org. Without further ado, I would like to introduce one of our guests today, our guest musician. He comes from a longstanding tradition of being in UU churches and has traveled around the country and been in Nashville and learned like 100 songs by age 6, and he went out of his way to pick a lot of songs today that match our theme of unions and that introduce different types of workers from around the globe, miners and railroad workers and riverboat workers. So please welcome Igor the Jazz Cowboy.
Yes, give yourself a big round of applause. If you have any more rhythm, you'll be careful.
Thank you, Igor. It's great to have you back. Good morning. I'm Ken St. John, and I welcome you to Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation on this Labor Day holiday weekend. It's great to see you all here, and for those of you watching on YouTube, it's great to be seen. Maybe we can get them up on this camera so they can see everybody. There we go. Hello on YouTube. I'm always hopeful that there will be visitors in the sanctuary. If this is your first time at VUU, or maybe you're a seasonal visitor, or you're here for the monsoon tourist season, I would ask that you, if you don't mind, to please stand and be recognized so that we can all greet you warmly. Are there any visitors? Thank you very much. And we're going to linger on this slide for a minute so that newcomers on YouTube, or anyone who's slipped by our welcome table in the back of the sanctuary, will have an opportunity to grab the QR code shown and establish an initial connection with our congregation. After the service, I encourage you to grab a snack and a drink in the back of the sanctuary and try to make your way over to where you see that circle in the window on the east that says Welcome Circle. That's where there will be a small gathering of members who would like to greet visiting guests and answer your questions so you can question their answers. We are a welcoming community that proudly values diversity, inclusion, and equality. And we're excited to share this space with you. Now, in honor of Labor Day, we have two guest speakers with us today. Eric Cadman is a working union member with Aramark at ASU, and Laura Perez is an organizer with Unite Here Local 11. They will be sharing stories of their struggles for workers' rights while our settled minister, the Reverend Sarah Oglesby Dunnigan, is away from the pulpit this weekend. Please welcome Eric and Laura. I've long been leery of corporate hierarchy, in case you're wondering. I can see that it's a useful, maybe even necessary structure for organizing large teams and getting things done. But too often people assume that being higher in an organization makes a person superior to those below in the org chart. And it results in vast pay disparities. It's only natural that those whose job it is to decide who makes what would get paid the most. Super important job. Now, when I worked as an engineering manager at Intel, I knew that my role as a team leader or a project manager didn't make me more valuable to the company than engineers and technicians who did the hands-on work. In fact, some of them did earn more than I. Intel has always made a sincere effort to function as a meritocracy. Yet still, there's a pay gap. My attitude has been that we all have a job to do that contributes to the company's success. We aren't a group of superiors and their underlings. We're team members. But it's not easy to change corporate culture, though here at VUU, I can say, you may have a job that requires a college education, or one that requires a strong back and skilled hands. You are welcome here. You may be an overcompensated executive or an underpaid service provider. You are welcome here. Thank you. You may lead a team or operate a machine. You are welcome here. You may work multiple jobs for long hours or be retired or in some other way disabled and scarcely work at anything. You are welcome here. Whoever you are, whatever you do, your contribution matters, though it is just one part of what defines you and gives your life worth and dignity. All right, we will have easily accessible and useful pastoral care services this morning provided by Janet Cantley here in the sanctuary and Lisa Benign online. I like how that rhymes. They will be responsible for pastoral care this week. You can speak with Janet up here in front of the sanctuary, or on YouTube you can reach out to Lisa, or anytime during the week you can contact the pastoral care team at pastoralcare.org or pastoralcare@vuu.org. They are there to be a listening ear for anyone who's struggling or just wants to be heard. I consider them emotional support people. Also, we have a Caring Neighbors Network that'll give you a little more practical support for things you might need in the home, like meals or rides for when people are in special times of need, and they can be reached at caringneighbors@vuu.org. All right, Eric is going to help me with the chalice lighting as we recite our chalice lighting words in unison. We kindle this flame, symbol of our faith, for the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of love, which calls us to work for justice. Oh, and we changed the words? Not in my copy. Hey, that explains your quietness. Okay. You're not done with me yet. Not by a long shot. I will now open our Sunday service by reading a poem to you. It's titled, In Service of Service. Mosaics and jigsaws, however awkward we are, know that we are fractured and whole both. We wear the cloak of invisibility, though it may not be the superpower we may once have imagined. We are, because we serve, so often thought of as that service. You and I, constructed by what we do, not who we are. There are no judges, only judgments. There are no food servers, only food. No electricians, only light, fairly or unfairly. Through hard days and whole years invisibly given, we measure ourselves. No one sees the hours. No one lives them but us. This is the great and good secret we carry: hard work. At the end of the day, however, it is a graceful burden. To serve is to worry, so that worry does not become our greatest legacy. To serve is to find song, so surprisingly, in the raising of bridges and the shortening of lines, in the sharing of bread and warmth and laughter. To be tall, to be not tall, nor thin, nor young, but simply the giver of what might be given. The hope builder, the foundation layer, the lion of best things. Let us act so that the universe might applaud this offering, the exchange of who we are for what we become. The greatest superpower we imagined invisibility to be, let us understand we were right. Igor?
John Henry was a steel driving man on the railroad. Help us out on the chorus of this one. John Henry was a little baby sitting on his mammy's knee. He picked up a hammer and a little piece of steel. This hammer's gonna be the death of me, Lord, Lord. This hammer's gonna be the death of me. Everybody now. Oh, this hammer's gonna be the death of me, Lord, Lord. This hammer's gonna be the death of me. All right, everybody, stand as you're able. Now, John Henry, he had a little woman. Her name was Molly Ann. second couldn't work one day. Polly Ann rode steel like a man, Lord, Lord. Polly Ann rode steel like a man. Everybody now. Polly Ann drove steel like a man, Lord, Lord. Polly Ann drove steel like a man. John Henry's hammer. His hammer was striking fire. Now he worked so hard it broke his poor heart. He laid down his hammer and he died, Lord, Lord. He laid down his hammer and he died. Oh, he laid down his hammer and he died, Lord, Lord. He laid down his hammer and he died. Now we buried John Henry. We buried him in the sand. And every locomotive come rambling by. Says yonder lies a steel driving man, Lord, Lord. Yonder lies a steel driving man. Everybody, oh, yonder lies a steel driving man, Lord, Lord. Lord, lies a steel driving man. One more time. Oh, yonder lies a steel driving man, Lord, Lord. Yonder lies a steel driving man.
It's time for the Time for All Ages. So I especially want the young people to please come on forward. I get to tell you a story today. I'm going to sit right down close. There's one, two, there's got to be more. I saw Harriet somewhere. There she comes. Hi, Harriet. All right. Oh, good. Here comes a couple more. All right, I'm going to start out with a question for you, young people. Maybe you can help us figure stuff out. Have you ever heard of being in a comfort zone? Anybody have an idea what that means? Do you think you know, Harriet? Do anybody else think you know? Would you like to tell us? What's a comfort zone feel like? Where it's comfortable and when nobody else is talking. That's a comfort zone for you, huh? Comfort zone, yeah, it's someplace where you're comfortable and where it's familiar to you. It's not strange or weird. It's like the stuff you know and where you feel good about being there. Like, who can think of a place that's a comfort zone? Predictability can be your comfort zone. Thank you. Go ahead. You have a place that you think is a comfort zone? Your house, your home. That's a wonderful comfort zone. How about you, Harriet? Your bed. I was going to say the same one. What about you? Okay. Wow, so you guys probably couldn't hear her, but she has a triple bunk bed with a space that's kind of like a little hideaway, and she can do her reading there. That's a perfect example of a comfort zone. Really nice. Or what about like if somebody who loves you is giving you a big hug? Did you want to tell us the comfort zone? Under your bed? Under the desk of your loft bed. So that's a nice little private space for you. Very good. You guys really got the idea. And sometimes comfort zone isn't just about a place. It's about feelings. It's about being somewhere where you're familiar with the area. Like, you know your room at school pretty good. But if you went into the wrong room, like, wait, this is weird, right? It would be the wrong place, the wrong people. Yeah, not your comfort zone. So here's a story about comfort zones. The things about them is it's nice to be in them, but you're not always there. Sometimes you got to step out of the comfort zone, try something new, go somewhere different, be out where there's strangers, things like that. Not everywhere is a comfort zone. So here's a story about someone who had to struggle with their comfort zone. Her name is Jenny, and she was driving home from work. Now, A car can really be a comfort zone, can't it? Because it doesn't matter how hot or cold it is outside, if you're in your car with the roof and the windows up and you can turn on the heat or the air conditioning. And that's what she did. In fact, she was driving on an especially cold winter day, and it was raining. It wasn't cold enough to snow, but almost. So the rain was really cold, and it was not a day you'd want to be out walking around. So she's in her car. And it's comfortable. She's not getting the least bit wet. She got in the car in a covered parking lot, drove out into the rain. She's listening to the radio, buckled into her comfortable chair. And she has a plan. It's the same plan she does every day. She drives home from work, gets to her house. She's going to press a button that'll make her garage door go up, pull the car in and park. Garage door goes down. She gets out dry, warm, no problem. Good plan. Then she can go inside and do whatever she wants. That's her plan. She's got a good, reliable, she's used to it plan. Okay, but this day she's driving home and she gets pretty close and it's pouring down rain and cold. And she notices there's a man walking on the sidewalk. And she thought about that. And he's soaking wet. He doesn't have an umbrella. He doesn't have a hat on his head. He's not even wearing a jacket. And so she's thinking, wow, he must be suffering. He must be shivering cold. Did you ever get so cold you shiver? Probably just from getting out of the pool and having a cool breeze hit you here. But people who live in cold places, they shiver when they get cold. So she's thinking that about how he must be feeling. And she thought about that a little, and she thought, well, I got a plan. He should have had a plan. I wish he had had a plan to stay out of the rain and stay dry and get home. I got my plan. And then she thought some more, and she remembered, oh, I have an umbrella I brought just in case I have to walk in the rain, but I'm not walking in the rain, so I don't really need it. That guy needs it really bad. So should I change my plan? Turn around? Help this guy out, or should I stick to my plan where I'm in my comfort zone and stay comfortable? And she decided it felt like she could feel how he was suffering, so she decided, I'm going to go help him. So her windshield wipers are swiping, and she had to wait for no cars to be coming so she could make a U-turn. And then she went over to where the man was. She had to roll down her window. Now she's getting cold. And then she took the umbrella and she reached her arm out the window, so now her arm's getting all wet. And she said, excuse me, sir, I think you need this more than I do. And he looked very surprised, dripping wet and shivering, and he said, thank you, and he took it. She got to roll up the window and drive on home, and then she got inside her garage and she got in. So she got a little wet, she got a little cold, but not too bad, and she was really able to help somebody. So she stepped out of her comfort zone on purpose because she had something someone else needed. She had an opportunity to be a helper, and she took it. I'm going to go over one more word that this story reminds me of is compassion. Do you know what compassion or to be compassionate means? Does anybody want to say? Harriet? Happy? Very good. Anybody else have an idea more of what to add to that, what compassion or compassionate means? I'm going to say it like this. It's when you think you feel how another person feels, especially if they're suffering. You feel that suffering. You think, I know how they feel, and you care. That's showing compassion, is knowing and caring and then doing something about it, is being compassionate. So she felt like she knew how that man felt. She knew she could help, and she turned around and helped him. And that's an act of compassion. And compassion is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful word. Nobody's tried to turn that one into a bad word yet, right? Compassion. So that's the whole story. Now what I'd like you to do, I don't see the candles, so I guess we changed that ritual too. But Igor, my old friend Igor, is going to come up and do another song for us. That's a familiar one, so I hope everybody will stand as you're able and sing along with Igor. as we sing the kids out to their classes. Thank you all for being up here. Oh, here's the candles. Thank you, Nick.
Oh, I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day. Oh, I've been working on the railroad just to pass the time away. Can't you hear the whistle blowing? Rise up so early in the morn. And can't you hear the captain shouting, Dinah, blow your horn. Oh, Dinah, won't you blow? Oh, Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. And they were playing on the old banjo, singing fee-fi, fiddly-I-O, fee-fi, fiddly-I-O, fee-fi, fiddly-I-O. Strumming on the old banjo. Let me hear you say, yeehaw!
That's wonderful. Now, we need our moment of centering. Calm down from the excitement and be ready for our service. During our centering time, you're welcome to get up at any time to visit the East Wall to commemorate something you may be celebrating or something you may be mourning or whatever's on your mind and weighing on you in your personal life. You can quietly acknowledge that and bring it to this space by lighting a candle or visiting the fountain or the rocks. While I read a poem that will be followed by another song from Igor. So please feel free to do that at any time. The poem this time is called Telephone Repairman. All morning in the February light, he has been mending cable, splicing the pairs of wires together according to their colors. White blue to white blue, violet slate to violet slate, in the warehouse attic by the river. When he is finished, messages will flow along the line. Thank you for the gift. Please come to the baptism. The bill is now past due. Voices that flicker and gleam back and forth across the tracer-colored wires. We live so much of our lives without telling anyone. Going out before dawn, working all day by ourselves, shaking our heads in silence at the news on the radio. He thinks of many signals flying in the air around him, the syllables fluttering, saying, please love me. From continent to continent, over the curve of the earth.
There's an old man called the Mississippi. That's the old man that I long to be. What does he care if the world's got trouble? What does he care if the land ain't free? Now don't look up and don't look down. You don't dare make the boss man frown. Bend your knees and bow your head. Pull that rope until you're dead. Oh, let me go away from the Mississippi. Let me go away from the big man boss. show me that stream called the River Jordan. Oh, that's the old stream that I long to cross. Now, old man river, that old man river, he must know something, but he don't say nothing. He just keeps rolling, he keeps on rolling along. Now we don't plant potatoes, plant cotton, and them that plants them is soon forgotten. But old man river, he just keeps rolling along. Now you and me, we sweat and we strain, bodies all aching and racked with pain. Tote that barge and lift that bale, you get a little drunk and you'll land in jail. Now I get weary and sick of trying. I'm tired of living, but I'm scared of dying. But old man river, he just keeps rolling along.
Good morning, everyone. Opening my phone up because I have my notes here. Hi, my name's Laura. I'm an organizer with Unite Here Local 11. I got involved in my union, in our union, in 2018 when I was working at the Renaissance Hotel in downtown Phoenix. Does anyone here know what a union is or what the labor movement is? Oh, amazing. Usually I don't see that many hands come up. For me, really what the union is, what the labor movement's all about is workers coming together to fight for a better life, right? And that better life, it can be about money, it can be about healthcare, but for me, what is really at its core is dignity and respect, right? In 2023, we had in Southern California and Arizona about 100 different contracts for hotels, food service workers expire, and the workers decided this is our opportunity, this is our chance to fight for that better life. It took us a year and a half of standing up to the boss, people overcoming fear, fighting together, but we were able to basically win in the first year of our contracts to redistribute about $1 billion out of from the hands of the bosses and directly into the hands of working people in the form of wages, healthcare, retirement, right? And yeah, woo! And what this actually means, what wages means, why it's important, it's not just so you can say like, I make X amount of money, right? But what it actually represents is people being able to live near where they work, have housing, so important for our folks here in Phoenix. We had, up until this past year, we did a study, a survey of our workers, and we found about 1 in 10 people were homeless, couch surfing, living in their cars, and these raises meant that they could actually find housing and stay safe in the summer. It has meant people have actually been able to go to the doctor and get their health care checked, not just when it's an emergency, but whenever something is necessary. And it's meant that for our older workers, people have been able to retire with dignity. We just won pensions in our hotels, and the thing that just hits me the most, I always think about individuals. One of our workers, he's 84 years old, his hands shake when he works, he's a dishwasher, and he's still not been able to retire because he hasn't made enough money, but now he's working with a pension, and in the next couple years, he's actually going to be able to retire. And for me, yeah. And for me, it's not just about economics, right? Like the union is about building a movement, The union is about building power for working people, for queer people, for women, for immigrants. And at a time when there's so much uncertainty in this country, we're dealing with the aftermath of COVID. We have a government that is trying to take away rights from people at every level of our country, except if you're at the very top, right? What this has meant is that people are able to actually have a say in our workplaces, in our personal lives, and in our country writ large. So I'm gonna pass it to the tech people. This video is about our contract fights that we just won last year, and then I'll pass it to Eric to talk about what's going on in Arizona right now and how people, if you are interested, could get involved for our fight towards justice in the workplace.
I'm a JW Marriott employee, and I am striking today because we're asking for better wages to be able to live here in LA. Due to the increase of rent, I've been forced to move further away. My commute used to be 10 minutes, then it became 30 minutes, and now my commute has become 2 hours and a half.
Mi nombre es Rosa Paz, tengo 23 años trabajando en Anaheim, Hilton, desde que se reabrió el hotel. Después de la pandemia, a los huéspedes les están dando voucher para que no pidan servicio. Y para nosotros, después de 3 días que ellos han rehusado servicio, es 3 veces mayor el trabajo.
Hi, my name is Melissa Doggle. I work at the Waldorf Astoria for 4.5 years as a line cook. As you know, our union has been on strike all over Los Angeles and Orange County. Today is our turn to make sure that we fight for our rights and we fight for a better contract. I'm very tired of working 6 days a week, doing overtime for the last 4.5 years, just to make it by. I want to maintain our health care, but increase the accessibility for therapy due to the stresses that come with this job.
Mi nombre es Yesenia Reyes, tengo 2 trabajos, soy mamá soltera. Yo como mamá salgo a las 6 de la mañana de casa, dentro a las 8, luego salgo a las 4 de la tarde, a las 5 de la tarde comienza mi nuevo turno para salir a la 1 de la mañana. Prácticamente yo no estoy viendo a mis hijos crecer, los encuentro dormidos, los dejo dormidos. Es un gran sacrificio como madre, se me parte el alma ver que mis hijos están creciendo y que el día de mañana mis hijos son adultos. No he podido estar con ellos. No los puedo disfrutar.
Please honor our struggle and postpone all upcoming concerts.
For those who are deciding on whether to hold your event in the city of Los Angeles, the choice is clear. On the one side, there is boundless greed of rapacious hotel corporations. On the other side, there is the sacrifice, the solidarity, and most of all, the courage of workers who are fighting for a living wage.
Hi, my name is Damon. We're here at Sheraton Gateway demonstrating again, but this is our 6th month. We're not going to give up. We're out here because we need increased wages, increased pension, increased health benefits. Today, we're going to occupy Gateway. We have tents out, we have food out. We're out here all night to demonstrate that this is what we need, this is what we deserve. But we're not going to give up until our negotiations are met.
Workers at 34 hotels held ratification votes. They voted 98% to ratify this agreement. We won everything from affordable health insurance to an unrivaled pension to a paid Juneteenth holiday to the return of daily room cleaning and guaranteed pre-pandemic staffing. But the game changer is the money. When all the hotels have signed, this contract will be worth $1 billion. And we won $5 an hour in the first year. That means that workers will have this year $10,000 in their pockets to pay their rent, to breathe easier at night, to live. That's what this contract does. It's going to transform lives, and we won it through this strike.
There's another kind of worker that we didn't get on the bill. I think you'll know the chorus of this, so do join us. I had the privilege of working and being the opening act for Roy Rogers and Dale Evans and the Sons of the Pioneers at one point, so this is one of their favorite songs, and I think yours too. Certainly welcome to stand on this one. You're probably going to want to do that. Ghost Riders in the Sky. An old cowboy went riding out one dark and windy day. Upon a ridge he rested as he went along his way. Well, all at once a mighty herd of red-eyed cows he saw plowing through the ragged skies. And up a cloudy draw. Yippee-ki-yay, everybody, yippee-ki-yo, the Ghost Riders in the sky. Their brands were still on fire and their hooves were made of steel. Their horns are black and shiny and their hot breath you could feel. Up rose the fear with him as they thundered through the sky. Saw the riders coming hard, and he heard the mournful cry, oh, yippee-ki-yay, oh, yippee-ki-yo, the Ghost Riders in city, a ghost riders in the sky. Yeah! Viva la huelga!
Good morning, VUU. It's nice to be here. As Laura mentioned, I'm a worker over at ASU, and this is our union together. I'm going to tell my story about what it means to be a part of a union, what it's meant for me in my own personal experience, and what some of the other people who I've had the honor to be around when we've been organizing. So, hello, my name is Eric Cadman. I live in Tempe, and I've lived in Arizona since I was 2 years old. I've been asked to come today to share my story, to share the stories of others about unions, what they are, what they do, and their importance in society. My union story begins in 2023. After having been unemployed for 1.5 years, I got a job. My brother actually got me the job, working at the Hacienda Dining Hall at ASU as a food service worker. I knew that the workplace had been unionized because my brother worked at the neighboring dining hall at Barrett, the Honors College, and I had heard what he had told me on occasion about the union. I'll tell you that at this point in my life, my knowledge of unions, what they are, what they do, it was very limited. But I sat in the orientation that day, and after the union reps had spoken their bit, I signed. It's important that I share this because up to this point, my knowledge was things like Jimmy Hoffa, the mob, and older things like the Triangle Shirtwaist Company. But this would change soon and for the better. My union story is several stories. After, as I previously mentioned, having been unemployed for 1.5 years, that fall I had a dental emergency. I had to have a root canal done, and anyone who has had one knows that kind of pain is almost beyond words. It was the same for me, taking 1,200 milligrams of painkillers and hoping to have a full night's rest, only to wake up at 4:36 in the morning when they wore off. Not being sure I can go into work because of the intense agony radiating from my tooth. I had signed up for the company insurance I offered at orientation, only to learn that it did not cover dental. Only after having sat on the dentist's chair and trying to cope with the building white-hot pain coming from my mouth, I simply could not get this tooth worked on. But the cost that day was nearly every dollar I had earned since I started working. I had to borrow $1,300 from my brother and had to pay installments for the remainder of the cost, just to cover a fairly common dental procedure. I remember telling the dentist I absolutely would not be back until I was insured, and I wanted to come on the 2nd of January to guarantee my insurance would be live. I came back that day on the 2nd, and they put the special gel on my teeth, and I was in and out of there for $25, and it was only because they had done the special gel. And as I left that day, I realized I was, for the first time in my adult life, covered. Should something happen, or even if I just wanted to get a checkup, I could go to the doctor without facing financial ruination. My colleagues at the union have gone through their own fights. And one of the things they won just back in February was a pension plan, which Laura mentioned. One of the workers, a 19-year-old transgender woman who was kicked out of her parents' home for coming out and who had been homeless, so they finally have a job where they know they will be protected. And they want to retire from this job knowing they can retire with dignity. I can speak to those hopes personally. My grandpa lives in Washington, and he worked union jobs. Blasting and building up and down the Pacific coast and into Hawaii even. There's probably not 1 inch of Washington he doesn't know from having worked to build the roads and freeways through and across the land. He retired around the end of the 90s and has been living comfortably with the money he gets every month from the pension program his union fought for decades earlier. The ability to take spending money for the road out of his account and not think twice that he had withdrawn $2,000 did not go unnoticed when we drove from Washington to Kansas and back each time for the last of each of these past 2 summers. Finally, one of my coworkers, a mother of 3 special needs adult sons, had been working night shifts at ASU for the last 8 years. Every year for the last 7 of those years, orientation, each time a year older than before, she asked to change her schedule to a morning schedule so she would not get home so late. so she would not be so exhausted, so she would not have to worry about being a woman walking alone at night, so she would not have to worry about taking public transportation late at night. Each time her manager would smile and tell her, "We'll see," her schedule each time would remain unchanged. As I got to know her at my workplace, she would open up to me about how tired she was, how she got to spend no time with her sons, how she was concerned about walking alone at night in Tempe, or missing the last bus at night and getting home even later. She would share stories of how she would get home and collapse from exhaustion and adrenaline burnout, how she would be so exhausted she would go to bed lacking the energy even to get out of her uniform. This past Wednesday, I led a meeting with her and other coworkers where we sat down and made our management listen to our issues. She offered to be the first to speak, knowing that our director could easily just say no. And while there were no immediate effects, on Friday she texted me to share that through her membership in the union, the respect that she was finally able to recognize she deserved, that our director would be changing her schedule so she could work in the morning like she had been asking for so long. Yeah. She'll be working a 10 to 6:30 shift instead of 1:30 to 10 shift. So it's a real change. It's something that she's been wanting. And just like in the video there where that woman was sharing that she doesn't get to grow, she doesn't get to see her sons grow up. She wants to be around her sons. She'll now be able to do that. Recently, I had the honor to represent the union during the very same orientations where I had my start. I'll spare you asking you if you know what a union is, especially since it seems like you already have a good idea, like we would ask the workers each day there. From the outside, unions appear to be a workplace within a workplace. But unions, that's really only the surface, though. Unions are the workers. Even the organizing staff who help lead my union, Unite Here, began as workers, as Laura shared, working at the hotel. They maintain their relationships in their workplaces, workers coming together to have each other's back, coming together to fight for their rights, coming together in solidarity to fight for a just workplace and to fight for the American dream to become reality, for each worker to have a future where they will be taken care of, making a decent wage, to not be taken advantage of at work, to be able to afford health care while sick, and to be able to retire with dignity. This is what a union is. This is where you come in. We all see, hear, know, and even feel what is going on in our country. Unions have been at the forefront of every single thing that workers today take for granted. Reasonable working hours, safe working conditions, protection from abuse by management, and even the weekend that allows people like you and I to go to church on Sundays instead of working away at an assembly line. Union men and women fighting for all these things built the golden age that people look back on as the good old days. Those days are gone, but we find ourselves living in times of change once more. Workers across Phoenix have been organizing, fighting, and winning those better lives I just mentioned. Soon, as a fairly recently minted shop steward, I will go through my first contract fight at ASU, a fight that may well be the biggest in Arizona history. Yeah, it's going to be incredible. We've got so many people who are going to be part of this. I'm really looking forward to fighting for better rights and wages and coverage. There's so many people in my workplace who they don't have enough to retire on in their 60s. There's people who need health care. There's people who I've talked to who an increase in their wages means that they can get their life started, that they can move out of their parents' houses or buy a car and have the freedom of mobility. The U.S. is also experiencing a crisis not felt since the 19th century, as one party fights to cling to the old ways of doing things, not caring who or how many are trampled upon to achieve a bygone system of a bygone age, not recognizing who built it or how it was built. Unions have been at the front line in protecting workers and through community organizing, protecting the very democracy that America prides itself on. Your involvement as workers fight for decent lives, your involvement as America battles with the rise of fascism within its borders, in its state houses, Congress, and even the White House, is important now today in a way that will literally be taught about in the history books. Either we will be taught as the people who did nothing while their country slid into authoritarianism, or we will be taught as the people who stood up, who said enough is enough, who stood with the most vulnerable people in our communities and helped to protect the very fundamental freedoms and principles America was founded upon. Yes, your support for unions, your solidarity with your neighbors and community. If ever there was a time to support with your time, energy, and money, it is now. How can I get involved? How can I make a difference? I will tell you how. Organizations such as Worker Power and my union are coming together to host a nonviolence training in Phoenix on the 30th of September. Having now been to one in Tucson, I can tell you that this is a powerful experience. Seeing strangers come together to hear and see how they can make a difference in their communities. This is an open invitation to the congregation, which your pastor will have more information as the day draws closer. To show up, to learn how to stand up, to resist fascism in our streets and in our communities nonviolently. Thank you all, and have a blessed day.
Woody Guthrie wrote this song for the Oklahoma migrants that came to California. Had the privilege to tour musically for a couple of weeks. Just came back a few days ago from California. It's amazing how much agriculture there is around Vandenberg Air Force Base. I never realized that. I stayed in Lompoc and visited friends in the Hollywood area. So it's a privilege to see that firsthand. And so we're going to extend this song not just to agricultural workers and the crop workers that I saw working last week, but to all itinerant workers. It's a mighty hard road that my poor hands have hoed. My poor feet have traveled a hot, dusty road. Out of your dust bowl and westward we rolled. Your deserts were hot and your mountains, they were cold. I worked in your orchards of peaches and prunes. I slept on the ground in the light of the moon. On the edge of your city you'll see us, and then we come with the dust and we're gone with the wind. California, Arizona, I harvest your crops, and on up to Oregon to gather your hops. Dig the beets from your ground, cut the grapes from your vine, to set on your table your light sparkling wine. Green pastures of plenty from dry desert ground, from the Grand Coulee Dam where the waters run down. Every state in this union us migrants have been. We'll work in this fight and we'll fight till we win. It's always we ramble this river and I. Along your green valley I'll work till I die. My land I'll defend with my life if it be. My pastures of plenty will always be free. My pastures of plenty.
Sweet. I assume most of you work hard for your money, and you make decisions about how you spend it to meet your basic needs, to help the needy, to save for your own retirement, and to support this institution. So with that, I'd like the ushers to please come forward and take up the collection while Igor does another song for us.
Actually, I'm just going to improvise a little bass. This is a rare opportunity. Round of applause for the dancers.
Dancers. Thank you, Igor. All right, and now in conclusion, I'm going to read another poem. This one's titled The Question. All day I replay these words. Is this the path of love? I think of them as I rise, as I wake my children, as I wash dishes, as I drive too close behind the slow blue Subaru. Is this the path of love? I think of these words as I stand in line at the grocery store. Think of them as I sit on the couch with my daughter. Amazing how quickly 6 words become compass, the new lens through which to see myself in the world. I notice what the question is not. Not, is this right? Not, is this wrong? It just longs to know how the action of existence links us to the path of love. And is it this? All day I let myself be led by the question. All day I let myself not be too certain of the answer. Is it this? Is this the path of love, I ask, as I wait for the next word to come? All right, more Igor. It's time for the closing hymn, and this one I'm sure you're going to recognize.
This is your opportunity to get into the action. We're going to be doing Proud Mary. So not only sing along down there, but if you'd like to come and join us, we have a couple of microphones. I know you like to get on stage. Some of you, this is your chance.
Please rise as you're able for this song and sing along.
Meg is going to help by moving the music stand out of the way and grabbing one of the microphones. All right. Left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. But I never lost 1 minute of sleeping, worried about the way things might happen. Big wheel keep on turning, and proud Mary keep on burning. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. I've seen a lot of planes in Memphis, and New Orleans, but I never saw the good side of the city till I hitched a ride on the riverboat Queen. Oh, the wheels keep on turning, Proud Mary keep on burning, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. I say rolling, rolling. Rolling on the river. Ba ba ba, ba ba ba, ba 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 ba. Now if you come down to the river, bet you're gonna find some people there. You don't have to worry if you have no money. People on the river are happy together. Big wheel keep on burning, Proud Mary keep on burning, rolling, 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 rolling on the river. Say it again. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Rolling, ba ba ba, ba 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 ba.
Thank you for making it fun, Igor. All right, let's check and see what words we use now. Yeah, that's the same ones. Eric will help me out as we say these words together. Though we extinguish the chalice, our connection to each other and this community remains. May its light guide us this week as we walk the paths of justice, speak words of love, and fill our world with compassion until we meet again. Thank you very much. Go in peace. Fight the good fight. Hang in there.